who stayed at all three of the locations of Jeffrey Epstein's homes in America? Reid Hoffman stayed at all three locations. He slept over, right? That's the top 1%. That's the inner circle. That's the Epstein inner circle. That's as close as you get. Reid Hoffman is the co-founder of LinkedIn. He was a member of the PayPal mafia. He's a big-time Silicon Valley guy. You know, he was an early investor in Facebook. He's on the board of Microsoft, and he's all over the Epstein files. His name shows up 2,600 times. And there's a very close relationship. You can kind of tell through the emails and the correspondence between Epstein and Hoffman that they were very close friends. They quite literally call each other very close friends. They talk about how much they miss each other. They can't wait to see each other again. Hoffman stayed on the island. Hoffman visited the New Mexico Zorro Ranch, stayed at the ranch for the weekend, according to these emails. Hoffman stayed at the New York apartment. He slept over at the New York apartment where a lot of these child trafficking, allegations arose, right? So of all the people in the files, of all the people in Epstein's contact list and emails, a small percentage actually stay at all three properties. And Reid Hoffman is on that list. So this man should be investigated. He's an extremely powerful person. He's one of the largest Democratic donors in the country. Epstein even says he's donated over $100 million to the Democrats, right? The reason Reid Hoffman's so important is because he funded these disinformation campaigns. He's funded a lot of the lawfare for Democrats. It's a lot of the dirty tricks that make politics so bad. For example, in 2017, he funded Project Birmingham, right? And this new knowledge startup, they were creating fake Twitter accounts that were posing as conservatives and Russian bots. And they were using this to divide the Republican vote and to fake the idea that Republican Roy Moore in Alabama was backed by the Kremlin, right? So they would get thousands of the fake Russian bots to follow the Republican candidate. Then they would get the media to talk about it as if, this was the Kremlin supporting a Republican. And this is in the heat of the moment when there's all this, wild insinuation and speculation and disinformation that President Trump was a Russian asset from the Steele dossier, which was funded by Fusion GPS, which Reid Hoffman also funded. Everyone's saying it's so bad that Russia has all this sway over elections. And the very people who are saying this are funding fake Russian bots, right? You can look at Renee DiResta, who was a member of New Knowledge and went on to work at the Stanford Internet Observatory. So she's kind of this figure who got really big into the censorship with Department of Homeland Security through 2020 with COVID and the election, right? And she actually was a big part of the Senate Intel Committee report where it cites all these Russian bots interfering in the 2016 election. But she was also a member of New Knowledge, which was faking Russian bots, and Reid Hoffman funded it. He even had to apologize. Think about how bad that is, It's literally running disinformation campaigns against American citizens. When you talk about Reid Hoffman, you also have to talk about Clear Choice PAC, which was in 2024. So he funded this PAC. Clear Choice PAC used lawfare to attempt to remove Cornel West and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. from the ballot in the battleground states. So they wanted to get them off the ballot so all the Democrat voters could vote for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, who Hoffman also donated tens of millions of dollars to. He claims to be supporting democratic principles, but he's literally stripping people of their right to vote for their preferred candidate. He also funded the E. Jean Carroll lawsuit, right, which the New York legislature made a specific law just so they could target Donald Trump. This lady has no evidence, right? There's no physical evidence. There's no video evidence. There's no police report. It's just completely based on her word. With no evidence, right? They're able to do that. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So he's funding the E. Jean Carroll lawsuit while he's all over the Epstein files. And he even mentions in one of his emails, I got you a gift, ice cream for the girls. Like, what are we talking about here? Ice cream for the girls? You're talking to the convicted pedophile and you got ice cream for the girls? Okay. You can definitely see them going back and forth on tax advice, on purchasing private jets, on the gifts they keep buying each other. The bromance is really there where they talk about, I miss you. I can't wait to talk to you again. I can't wait to see you. I really like Reid Hoffman. He tells other people, my very close friend, Reid Hoffman. There's a bromance going on here, which is not really seen with everyone else. And what did they bond on, right? Was it ice cream for the girls? Is that what they bonded on? I don't know. I'm not sure. But it should be asked, right? Because this is one of the most powerful men in the world, and he's the largest Democratic donor. in the nation, $100 million for these very shady, questionable political tactics, this lawfare that has really ruined modern politics, I would say, especially funding, fake Russian bot armies on Twitter and Facebook. What are we doing? Who's funding fake Russian bots? This is how you're using the millions you've earned from LinkedIn and Microsoft. What are we doing here? Okay? This is absolutely crazy. I mean, think about it. People got arrested for posting memes about the election, right? Douglas Mackey, he posted a meme about, oh, you shouldn't vote on this day, you should vote on that day. And this tech billionaire, who's all over the Epstein files, is literally funding a fake Russian bot army. And he makes a simple apology. It's a couple Washington Post articles, and no one ever talks about it again. He continues to be the largest Democratic donor in the country. He's also funding like Indivisible, which was behind a lot of the violent protests at Tesla facilities, where it ended up being with Tesla facilities being firebombed, people shooting Tesla facilities. And it started out, everyone supports peaceful protesting. There's nothing wrong with that. I think any American supports that. But when you start to cross the line into violence and, firebombing these sites, and it's crazy. And the organization was kind of the spearhead of, a lot of these violent protests. So he's not a good guy, right? He lied about his relationship with Epstein. He spent years longer communicating with him. And one of the craziest messages in the entire thing, it's January 2015, and the Prince Andrew scandal is breaking global news. CNN is covering it, BBC is covering it, everybody's covering it, right? Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking underage girls to Prince Andrew. Reid Hoffman emails Jeffrey Epstein, right, about the gifts he bought him, right? So ice cream for the girls and the metal sculpture. And he says at the end, I've been thinking about some ways I can help you with the negative press, especially on the online front.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What do you mean? You want to help him with Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted pedophile, as the elite sex trafficking network story is being broken? You want to help him with his negative press on the online front? What? So are you gonna use your tools from Silicon Valley? You're on early investor in Facebook? Are we gonna, suppress knowledge of this on Facebook and Instagram's algorithm? Are we gonna suppress stories on LinkedIn about this? We're gonna clean up Jeffrey Epstein's online footprint? There's not a lot of people in there that are offering to help Jeffrey Epstein with his PR as the scandal is breaking, as the child trafficking scandal is breaking. This is one of those guys. It should be talked about. It should be investigated. Right? At the very least, this guy should be investigated. Like I said earlier, there's a big difference between people who are essentially in the contact list, a couple emails, they're not close, and then the people who stayed at all of the properties, who are very close, who you can see through the emails, they have an intense dialogue and a relationship and a friendship. They're buying each other gifts and all these. There's a big difference. So Hoffman keeps trying to point the finger at Elon Musk and saying, oh, he's literally sharing Musk's emails with Epstein about how he was going to go party on the island and all this, right? And you got to notice that Elon says, I'm going to go with my wife. I've been working really hard. I would love to let loose on an island and party, okay? He never goes. Elon never went. He never went to the island. He never went to the New York apartment. He never went to the Zorro Ranch in New Mexico. Reid Hoffman went to all three. He stayed the night. He was buying ice cream for the girls. Right? So there's a totally different level here of the relationship between these people, Elon and Hoffman and Epstein, right? There's a bromance between Hoffman and Epstein. They literally say they miss each other and they can't wait to talk to each other again, right? They're exchanging tax advice. They're shopping for private jets. They're exchanging gifts. They're staying at each other's places. Totally different level. Right. So it's kind of a disgrace and a joke that so much of the media is trying to portray this as like the feud between Elon and Reid Hoffman and the relationship between Epstein. Elon didn't really have a relationship with him. There's a few emails, right? And the emails, you can tell they're not close. There's a few emails with Epstein with everybody, right? He's talking to Rothschilds. He's talking to prime ministers and defense
wait,
ministers and
Feisty.
presidents. He's flying the president, all over the world. Bill Clinton, he flew him all over the world.
I can't wait, Feisty. Please. I want you to blow this to smithereens. Well, so he doesn't have the answers, of course. He's just reading off what he's
playing the narrative.
Right, and not just him. Everybody. Yes.
Let's start with Jeffrey Epstein is not a convicted pedophile.
Okay.
They charged him in 2019, arrested him, indicted him, but he did not die in August, so he never got convicted of the pedophile.
So the only reason they can get away with calling him a convicted pedophile without ever being sued for defamation,
because nobody knows what happened in 2008,
is because he's supposedly dead.
Well, that's why Ghislaine is the now mastermind who's the groomer, right? Yeah. They needed somebody to pick up the heat.
Well, they don't call her. Well, I guess they kind of do.
Yeah, they call her the mastermind. Virginia Giuffre did that whole thing.
Except I got a screenshot here of somebody's, one of the supposed victims, calling herself the next Heidi Fleiss.
Yeah.
Of recruiting girls.
She was. I mean, it's incredible to me.
Yeah, I'm like Heidi Fleiss, quote unquote. Haley Robson told police she took at least 6 girls to visit Epstein, all between the ages of 14 and 16. And this is one of the girls.
She also calls herself a victim.
Yeah, she was sitting behind Pam Bondi. And so this is we need to have this conversation. So many of the names were unredacted. Many of the so-called victims were unredacted.
That's where I got the school grok today. Should I do that one first?
You do whatever you want, please. The floor is yours, dear.
Because I need first. Okay, then I will start with Ro Khanna. Because
great segue.
Jackass.
There's the sticker. We need the jackass sticker.
Oh, let me get.
I swear, he's really.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready? You ready? You're all prepared. You're armed up.
I'm here for you.
I gotta get me a hat. So I put out yesterday.
I'll mail you one.
I'm gonna get it. Let's see.
I love it. If anybody doesn't know, in the pill chat, Feisty posted it, commented in the Rumble chat. Oh, Sean, you know I'm about to blow this guy's theory to smithereens, right?
I don't have a voice like
and
that.
She said it just like that, too. That's how it was playing in my head when I was reading it.
I'm sure it was.
Thank you, Patriot Bronco, for the phone. God bless.
Okay, let me share my screen.
And thank you, Von Hitch, for the cookie. Yeah, we'll send everybody over to Johnny here in a little bit. Thank you to Chris. Shares all yours.
Okay. So yesterday, Ro Khanna put out, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom first, but Ro Khanna, did I get this whole thing out? For some reason, my screen is doing weird things. I went too far. Ro Khanna put out, I saw this email at DOJ today. This is a political figure who shouldn't have been redacted. It's direct violation of the Rep. Thomas Massey and My Epstein Files Transparency Act. The Justice Department should unredact it immediately. And it's an email that's redacted, but it's a widely known person. Her name is Gwendolyn Beck. She ran for office in Virginia's 8th District, which is, for those that don't know Virginia, that's right outside of D.C., that's Arlington, Fairfax area. Okay? So she got like 2 points. She ran as an independent, got like 2.7% of the vote. And she's writing an email to Jeffrey Epstein saying that she got more votes than Jeb Bush did, which is funny, and ends it with "love ya." Here's where it gets really kind of wonky.
So one of the victims said "love ya" to Jeffrey Epstein. So
well,
clear.
let's keep going.
Okay.
Because he said she's a political figure. She doesn't need to be redacted.
Oh, isn't that
And
interesting?
Todd Blanche says you are calling for the release of a victim's personal information. Care to update your tweet? So I said, okay.
I'm surprised he
Let me
didn't put
ask.
victim in quotes.
Yeah. What?
He didn't put victim in quotes to protect
He's
himself.
meaning she's a victim, which is
Oh.
where I had to school grok.
Oh. So
So
Gwen,
I said, let's see, why would Gwendolyn Beck present herself to the DOJ as a victim?
Yeah.
And why was Ro Khanna specifically looking for her name in the Epstein files? Pretty good question, don't
it's
you
a
think?
very good question.
Well, it turns out little Miss Gwen
I'll Gold Bar
dated
Bob.
Gold Bar Bob.
Oh, for the
Gotcha,
win.
bitch.
For the
It
win.
gets better.
Oh,
Ro Khanna's brother, Vikas, was on the prosecution team.
of course.
Vikas Khanna, Ro's brother, served as first assistant U.S. attorney for New York.
Okay.
Okay. So during the corruption trial in 2024, Vikas testified that Menendez called him in early 22 and alleged that the senator was trying to influence him in a fraud case for Fred Dybes.
Okay.
Fred is the guy that gave him the gold bars. He's in jail for 7 years. Okay? So he also testified the senator began the conversation with small talk,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
About his brother, Ro, before praising the defense attorneys working on the Dybes case, who convicted Dybes for bribery, giving gold bars to Menendez, hence the term gold bar Bob. Okay. But here it gets a little bit better. During cross-examination, because, we don't say anything that would look bad for us.
Right.
During cross-examination, defense attorneys pointed out that Vikas, along with his wife, had co-hosted a virtual fundraiser for Menendez's 2020 election cycle, raising $60,000. So there was no small talk going on. There was no small talk. There's a relationship here, right?
Huge. Yeah.
It's better. Gwen was a central figure in his first trial, the original trial back in 2017. They used it, and it ended up in a hung jury. So remember, Menendez was brought up on charges of fraud then.
He's in prison right now.
He's in prison for 11 years. By the way, he's in prison in one of the country club prisons that they're bitching about Ghislaine Maxwell being in.
That they're actively trying to get her out of Mace.
They have
Nancy
no
Mace.
jurisdiction,
I'm fucking looking
Sean.
at you, Nancy Mace.
They have no jurisdiction on
Yeah,
that.
I think you were right about Nancy Mace.
You
said that a
wait
while ago.
a minute. Say that again. My ears clogged.
You were right about Nancy Mace, I think.
Thank you. I've been saying. So they used Gwendolyn's relationship with Menendez to try to show the quid pro quo, because Menendez got the doctor who's also in jail. Trump commuted the doctor's sentence to time served in January 21. And do you know who recommended that Trump commute that sentence?
Who?
Bob Menendez. You can't make this shit up.
What the hell is going on here?
Okay. So they got the doctor put in prison. Menendez got off. Then Menendez comes back. They get him on the second one. They tried to use Gwendolyn to hang him. And for the life of me, I don't know, because this isn't an email that strikes me as something that sticks out. He had to have been searching for 3.5 million documents. Come on. He had to be searching for something with her name on it. Right?
Yes, which the DOJ has.
Why is Ro Khanna searching for her? And what did he call her? A victim. In other words, she presented herself to DOJ as a victim. If you don't mind, I'm going to scroll down because you asked Rock to teach itself.
Yes.
And
What did I
he
ask
says,
Grok, though?
you said, you will include this in the event that anyone looks into supposed victim Gwendolyn Beck and or Ro Khanna, right, Grok? Because we'd hate for real victims to be exploited or minimized due to the others making fraudulent claims.
Were you laughing when you saw that?
Okay. I was doing just this. I was giggling.
I always look for ways to make you giggle.
Because then I read Grok's response.
Yeah.
Who said, thanks for the tag. So Grok is now informed about Ro Khanna and the backstory.
That was my intention.
Okay. So then I come back in. So what's the deal with the redaction? Said Six Strings.
Yeah.
Grok comes back and says, the redaction in question likely refers to a 2016 email, reiterating the friggin' email, right?
Yeah.
So I said...
So she said she was a victim.
Right. Which Grok says, the reports indicate she identified as a victim.
Identified. Self-identified.
This is so stupid because that infers that all she had to do was go to DOJ and say, I'm a victim.
Exactly. It says, it infers it, but it actually says self-identified.
Self-identified.
So that's accurate.
So I said,
Right.
Hey, Grok, you might consider updating your repository to include what it takes to present yourself as a victim to the DOJ.
I'll help.
Well, you got to teach it somehow, damn it.
Somebody's got to teach this damn thing, right?
Poor bastard.
This is the AI that they're hoping takes over the world, right?
Yeah, well, I'm going to double check this when I search it myself and make sure. Hey, I actually sent you a reminder a while ago. Why aren't you factoring this into the equation here?
No, just say, hey, Grok, what's it take to present yourself as a victim?
Yeah.
Let's see if my shit comes back.
Oh,
So, when presenting yourself as a victim to the Department of Justice, your status is verified through validation of information against investigative records. So there's an investigation, right? Police reports, and official documentation. Roe is looking her up. Police reports, I'm wondering if she is a victim, right? So this process involves confirming your identity and connecting you to a federal case via the victim notification system. You actually get what they call a VIN. It's a victim identification number.
Yeah.
VNS.
You're not just a willy-nilly arbitrary victim.
Right.
There's a real case involved, police reports involved, there other documentation. Something has to identify you as a victim. Her being used to show quid pro quo for Menendez doesn't make her a victim, but there's something that did because she's got a VIN.
She definitely has one, though.
Yeah, you can't get on the victim list without it.
So how do we know that she didn't get that in the previous administration or through Merrick Garland?
Good question.
You don't, except that she's had it since 2016.
Would that be would she have applied under Obama?
That is right.
You would have.
Loretta Lynch.
Yeah. You would have applied under that.
And I can only go by the fact that she has a valid VIN that this current DOJ validated and accepted her as a victim in the Epstein files with her name redacted.
Was her name redacted? Because, a lot of the redacted names turn out to be they say it's the co-conspirators.
Well, they're trying to say that, yes.
Actually the victims.
They're actually the victims.
So-called victims. So
so let me continue, because all those women that were sitting behind Pam Bondi, the key to remember is she said, if you've got any information on perpetrators,
yes, she said that.
Come talk to us. Remember?
Yep.
They all said none of them, they had them raise their hand, none of them had talked to DOJ, inferring that DOJ wasn't listening to them. She said, I've not talked to any of these back here. They haven't come to us.
Did she say they haven't come to us?
She said none of them have come forward.
Oh.
So if
Why not
that's
call them out more, though? Why not be more direct? Do you think there could be a valid reason why not?
if there is a victim, I think they're playing the politics too, if you don't mind my saying. But if they're victims and they're not going to the DOJ, remember the one who did that teary-eyed video that she got? Remember, she was unredacted?
Yep.
My world is crying. I mean, she was so
my privacy has been violated.
My privacy is ruined.
Here
My
she
family's
is front
at
and
risk.
center, putting herself out on Main Street.
Complete with makeup, by the way, in her video.
Yep.
Yeah, because, I'm distraught enough to put on makeup and do my hair.
Yeah, and then they put out an $8 million commercial during the Super Bowl halftime.
Okay, I got the Super Bowl information, by the way. So anyway, just so you know, that's what it takes to be declared or present and it's what they call it is you present yourself as a victim with those VINs. Okay, so I gave all this information, all the information on the notification system, and then the investigative records and review, the Office of Justice Programs and related law enforcement agencies validate claims by reviewing original entries such as police reports to ensure the record is active and accurate. So it's not just that you're in the system. It's then again verified with whatever current information there is. So this isn't an arbitrary thing.
Oh. What? So Chris Doom put something in the chat that maybe you can chime in on. Says one suspect shot themselves in connection to the Guthrie case.
I don't even know.
Guthrie. I'm sorry. I thought you said Giuffre. I keep getting Giuffre and Guthrie mixed up, by the way. Sorry.
He's been doing that from the beginning.
My mistake.
They're fancy names.
Yeah.
So then Grok says, thanks for the helpful breakdown.
At least he's polite.
Really, really sweet, right?
Let's see if he remembers.
I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, I brought that up because it plays into what I'm about to show you.
Hey, I got 135 people watching. Hey, look at that.
So here's the other thing I wanted to do. Do you remember our Rothstein dig?
I couldn't forget it if I tried.
This was the first time I got him to shoot out of his chair, by the way.
Yeah.
Remember?
Send me the link on that because I haven't seen that and I'd like it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Scott Rothstein,
have the
Ponzi
link.
scheme,
The Ponzi scheme, Rothstein.
and everybody who thought Brad Edwards was a good player, and I knew it from the beginning.
No,
This dude
he's
doesn't.
not.
He's
So-
the only guy that exonerated, not really, but said Trump was the only one willing to cooperate with their
So this whole Rothstein thing became a Ponzi scheme where Rothstein, and this is Rothstein right here.
Yep.
He ran a law firm in Miami.
Rosenfeld Adler.
Rosenstein.
Yeah. Rosenfeld and Adler.
Yes. So he ran a law firm. In that law firm, they opened up offices. He was already running a Ponzi scheme with hard assets, Rolex watches, crap like that. It was starting to go downhill. So conveniently, in April of 2010, he meets up with Rothstein in April and said, hey, I got an idea. And they took Rothstein's Ponzi scheme and made it a victim's Ponzi scheme. So you're going to have to see the video to see the rest of it. I'm trying to go through real quick.
Take your time.
That said, one of his lawyers in his firm wrote up a bunch of fake testimonies. And they sold it. They made up the fake testimonies. They had another guy who was a senior vice president at TD Bank Canada who wrote up lock letters and did a website, and they had all these fake payouts for these lawsuits that these girls were supposed to get.
So listen closely.
The girls were going to get $1 million, but the 15, 20, 70, $100 million would then be split with these people that were investing in the difference.
This should all sound very familiar to everybody. What she is saying right now should sound very familiar, but it's not. Oh my gosh, how do I say this? Apply what you're hearing Feisty say about Rothstein into a different situation that we're seeing take place today in one Jeffrey Epstein. The stories are going to line up and sound exactly the same.
So these victims that they wrote these fake letters for became a commodity in this Ponzi scheme. Rothstein gets arrested by the end of the year.
Wow.
He sat for a week of depositions against all his victims, which were all these investors. And we got a lot of information out of that.
And who were those investors, really? Cartel?
They were cartel members.
Cartel.
Well, there were others, but come to find out, and in October of 24, TD Bank got a $3 billion, I think it was $3 billion fine from the DOJ, and they finally admitted out loud, yes, we launder money for the cartels.
Yeah.
So,
his Ponzi scheme, by the way, was the largest Ponzi scheme in American history.
Bernie Madoff.
They got nothing on
this guy.
On Rothstein.
So here's the thing. They ended up somebody took over that Ponzi scheme. He's in prison for 50 years. They promised him, if you tell the truth, we'll get a reduction in sentence. They laugh at him now. He's sitting in prison for 50 years. He got moved from where he was. He's now in witness protection prison.
Witness protection.
Yeah. So somebody made sure he's safe, but he's still behind bars. After telling the truth for 10 days in December.
We have no idea where he is. I have no idea. So they could say he's behind bars. We don't know that.
We don't know. Right. So the Ponzi scheme should have ended. The guy's in jail. No, it hasn't. So now let me show you some interesting stuff. Back in 2020, I did the research on all the girls.
Oh, Annie Farmer. Huh.
Yeah,
made the rounds.
It's just a list. She's been making a lot of rounds.
Pinata would know a thing or two about her.
Right? Wait a minute. I gotta. Let me get rid of this.
Liability. I won't remember that post.
So I did this research back in 2020 on these girls because I said, you know what? None of these are really victims. And I'm going to show you.
And that sucks to say. And they know, the powers that be know, or the powers behind this know that we are going to be reluctant to call these any victim not a victim.
They're not a victim.
So-called victims.
I'm not reluctant to call it. I'm just laughed at or chastised for saying it. And I don't give a rip what anybody thinks.
Yeah.
But I've done my legwork. Somebody else should do some of their own.
Imagine if that comes out. What's worse today? Actual people being victimized or people claiming duped. They were victimized?
Well, how about us being duped? And ultimately that makes us a victim of all the narratives.
Bingo.
Bingo. So anyway, Annie Farmer was 16 in 1996.
Yep.
She's alleged to have been abused at the Zorro Ranch. Here's the problem. In New Mexico and her home state, I think she's from Kentucky or Kansas, but 16 is the age of reason. So she's not a pedophile. Okay?
Who's not a pedophile? She's not?
Annie Farmer was not she's not a child. Epstein was not. Even if they had physical relations, she wasn't a minor.
Right.
She was 16.
What year did she say? Is she claiming that it happened?
1996.
And she was 16. That's when she. So are you saying the laws in Mexico are different?
New Mexico, and I believe she's either Kansas or Kentucky. I don't remember off the top of my head.
How old was Epstein in 96?
I believe in Kentucky. I don't know.
He's in his 30s.
He was in his 30s at that time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So anyway, She testified in the Maxwell trial. They didn't even use her for the first Epstein trial. Notice the date, 96.
Yep.
What was the first trial? 2007 and 8.
Okay.
She wasn't used. She didn't come up until the Maxwell trial in 2021.
And at that time, she's a psychologist specializing in helping people with anxiety, grief, and trauma recovery.
What better way to mold and groom more?
Right? Well, here it gets even better. I'm trying to move this over. So, I'm going to go through the long story. She's featured on the World Without Exploitation website. World Without Exploitation is who did the PSA in the Super Bowl. It wasn't an ad.
Yep.
It was a public service announcement that wasn't played at the Super Bowl during those prime times because they couldn't afford the ad buy, which would, for the Super Bowl, is upwards of 40, 60, 80 million, depending.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I did look that up.
And they're suing the NFL now, too, by the way, because they fudged their numbers to try to make it look like they weren't competing with Turning Point.
Right.
Good.
Nevertheless, this ran on social media and it was shared by people like Chuck Schumer and Ro Khanna and Acosta. Do you see?
Wait,
So
Acosta?
the reason
Alex
why
Acosta?
Alex Acosta. That's the.
You think he's a bad actor?
They shared the video, and by sharing the video, that's how they got the message out in the PSA.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. You've seen the video, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's the 33. It was a 33-second spot. I think that's funny. 33-second spot. It's time for truth. Okay. So let's talk about World Without Exploitation, or known as World capital W capital E.
Is it a WWE?
Almost.
Inverse.
Right?
Okay.
Okay. They're fiscally reliant on and fall under the umbrella of Tide Center, which is the sister organization to Tide's Foundation.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
So do you remember the Clinton Global Initiative and Ghislaine Maxwell saying that they needed a Davos-like entity
Sure.
where the money would go through there and protect the foundation's greater work? That's what Tide Center does.
Oh.
The money, the Tide Center serves as a legal firewall insulating the Tides Foundation and has incubated many projects from behind the scenes.
Really?
The Tide Center has been described as the organization that washes away the paper trail.
Mm-hmm.
So you making it hard for like the FBI to even follow the money, or?
Well, because the donors, they have these the donor advised funds. So the donors donate to the donor advised funds, and then the donor advised funds give out the grant money, and you're just burying the money into the web.
Okay.
It's kind of like a PAC operates. That might be easier.
Well, the PAC, but also think about all of the ways that USAID money got dispersed.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the same
Oh,
model.
okay.
Same model, just a different. Yeah.
So they're washing away the paper trail, and Drummond Pike said he runs this group. Anonymity is very important to most of the people we work with. Tide's funding model allows donors to fund newly created projects anonymously through Tides, and with the advantage of Tides being a nonprofit prior to the project receiving tax-exempt status. So the donations that are intended for World Without Exploitation are actually processed through the Tide Center. World Without Exploitation is fiscally dependent on the Tide Center, and it falls under the Tide Center umbrella, which means Tide Center controls what they do.
Okay.
Okay?
Which is Soros.
Which is,
Well,
that's
Neville
all the whole
Singham.
Soros network.
It's a whole bunch of them.
And Neville
There's-
Singham, Neville
Singham is a part of this too, yes.
Yes.
So, World Without Exploitation was funded by Lauren Hirsch. You're going to love this. in 2016. She was the head of the sex trafficking unit in Brooklyn District Attorney's Office and resigned once her case was under review.
Who was?
Okay. Her name is
Lauren Hirsch. Okay.
Lauren Hirsch. Well, look at why her case was under review. Presented the case to a grand jury which indicted 2 men last year and charged, this is 2012, that they sexually assaulted a girl and forced her to have sex with strangers for money starting when she was 13. Is this sounding familiar?
Yeah.
2 other men were indicted on rape charges. The case attracted attention because the accuser was a young Orthodox Jewish woman and the defendants were adult black men. Do you hear a divisive tactic here?
Yep.
Okay.
Especially in
But last month,
Yeah, New York. Yep.
serious questions emerged regarding the handling of the case when it was revealed that before the indictments, the accuser recanted certain allegations involving 2 of the men in an interview with the detectives, a fact that was not shared with the defense lawyers for nearly a year.
That's a Brady violation right there.
That's a violation.
Yep.
That's exculpable evidence.
That absolutely is.
Have we not heard that word recently?
Yeah.
Like all the time?
Yep. Exculpatory.
So it turns out she was not forcibly raped, and Lauren Hirsch, as the attorney, made a few bucks off of this case.
Oh.
Because they always do. And she's running World Without Exploitation.
Right now? But
Yeah, she's the head of it.
she still is.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
World Without Exploitation is who organized that rally back in September.
Rally.
The one on the Capitol steps.
The one on Capitol Hill
With
with all the victims.
MTG, Rokana, Massengill was there. Yeah.
Okay. Rachel Foster is a co-founder. She has served as a central organizer for Epstein's survivors, helping them transition from siloed voices into a collective political force. Can you say handler?
Yep.
Isn't it funny her name is Rachel?
And
Like Rachel Chandler?
foster system, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Are all handlers named Rachel? I'm asking for a friend.
Shit. Yes.
Her current work includes being primary advocate for the Epstein File Transparency Act, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Chelsea Handler. That's, I mean, you want to talk
Annie
about
is
a
primarily
fake name?
represented by Sigrid McCrawley of the law firm Boyes, Schiller, Flexner. She has also been represented by Jennifer Freeman in her lawsuits against the federal government. Sigmund Crawley and Brad Edwards work extensively closely together for over a decade. They're co-counsel on several cases in high-profile litigation. Are we seeing a tight-knit circle?
Yes, 100%.
You notice how you're going to start seeing these names come up over and over and over.
Yeah.
I think all of our,
They're referred to as the legal duo, by the way.
I think we're over target. You and I are
They served as
Yes.
co-counsel on the 2023 banking settlements, including $290 million that they extorted from JP Morgan and the $75 million that they extorted from Deutsche Bank.
How will they keep doing this?
I think that's what we're watching.
How did they extort all that money from
Because
Epstein too?
What they're saying is these banks had accounts and should have known he was trafficking money. It was, he was
Laundering
doing
money or trafficking children?
No, they were saying he was trafficking and these counts were aiding and abetting. So what they're doing is they're shaking down these companies for money. They're legally extorting from these banks.
Yep. And I bet you they're doing it from, isn't it Pritzker's family that owns the hotel chain?
Oh, you know darn well they are.
Uh-huh.
It's a cover-up operation. Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh.
He hasn't jumped out of his seat.
Oh my gosh. Everything that's going on right now is a cover-up. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Feisty. No way. It's a cover-up. They're
That's
trying
why-
to cover their tracks. That's why he was standing on the fucking Capitol steps asking for victims to come forward.
They need victims.
They need victim.
I have a feeling there aren't very many of them left.
Well, if there were victims, they would have come forward already.
I have a feeling.
And Pam Bondi is saying we're not getting any information.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So that guy in that 5-minute video where we're talking niceties in some of these emails, people have Epstein wrong.
Yep.
I said in that presentation, the Rothstein dig, there's a bigger investigation going on. Bill Clinton's involved in it. Epstein's working with him. Louis Freeh is the key investigator.
He's still alive.
Yes.
He is so still alive. They are
There's no way he
protecting
can't
him.
be.
Oh my
well,
gosh.
when you recognize that the day that the court ordered the original tranche of Epstein files to be unsealed, it was the next day Epstein did not kill himself.
Holy
So
shit.
August 9th of 2019, the court officially ordered the unsealing of those documents. August 10th of 2019, he did not kill himself.
That's why they're all freaking out and panicking.
No kidding.
Because Ro Khanna is looking so desperately for any ammunition to.
Let's go back to why he
They
was
want to
looking.
try to turn it as hard as possible against Trump right now.
And why is he looking for? There's something up with his brother.
They
And
gotta know that Trump is doing this on purpose. They have
don't
to know
know.
that.
Either you're just
No way that.
simple in the head, or you're completely, obviously unfit for the office you hold.
If they're
because you're
involved-
too stupid to get out of bed.
If they're in, they should be so scared to even get out of bed at this point.
Right?
Smart people would have left the country.
And that's only Annie Farmer.
Yes.
Smart people.
Holy shit! It's a
This is
cover-up
why-
operation.
This
So,
is
the
why
one
they're
thing I wanna
mobilizing the
point
Boer
out-
level for civil war.
Right. The
That-
one thing I want to point out is I spent a lot of time in these first two so that I could give you all the background information. But every one of these 22 victims is associated with WorldWE. And not only that, there's spin-offs from WorldWE into other organizations also fiscally accountable or under the umbrella of Tide Center. Tide Center is every one of the organizations here.
Yep.
Every single one of them.
Yes, Liz Stein.
I got Liz Stein coming up.
But see, no, there's a disconnect because I kind of have always suspected that it's a cover-up operation. But what
I just showed it to you.
you just put it as plain as possible.
I don't know how much more I can make it plain.
There's ways to make it even more plain, I suspect. And we're going to find out more because there's a whole nother tranche, and that's where the rug pull's going to happen. There's got to be a rug pull. Remember me saying this.
There is. There's got to be. And this is going to be one.
For the win.
So here we are with Maria Farmer. Just so you know, I'll go back to the beginning of the thing. She was in her early 20s. So obviously not a minor. She was an artist. Reported Epstein and Maxwell in 1996, one of the earliest complaints. She actually only reported Epstein, though. She was in her early 20s, is currently a professional visual artist after years, I love this,
Living under the radar.
of living under the radar, restoring
Bullshit.
houses and selling antiques and following threats to her life. Is your heart aching yet? Maybe it will now. She returned to her art career. Her current work, such as the Survivors Project, hint, hint, features portraits of fellow survivors to honor their resilience and ensure their stories are not forgotten. She is a former artist in residence at Les Wexner's.
Yep.
Wait, she's a former
Artist
artist?
in That's where they go in. It's like a summer camp kind of thing.
Yeah.
They go in for a predetermined amount of time. I think hers was supposed to be 3 months.
So she only called out Epstein, but...
When it was fiscally convenient.
Oh.
Because she got like $2.5 million. So that
Again,
said,
I want this to be able to be digestible for normies, newbies, and all. Because the last thing I would want is for a newbie to come into the chat and say, "Oh, you guys are minimizing victims." No. We advocate for victims here and always will.
true victims.
True victims. But you know what's almost just as bad, if not, I might even make the case it's worse, are people claiming they're victims. Why? Because it minimizes
then the real victims aren't
real
getting
victims.
help.
Exactly right.
Right.
So this is actually us advocating even more for the real victims.
So again,
They should be
we
in
see
jail.
She's WorldWE, the Super Bowl advisory, whistleblower recognition. They use her all the time because
gosh.
she's one of the oldest of the victims.
They're gonna go to jail.
She's a legislative partner for WorldWE. So she is a part of what they
What?
call the Survivor Alliance, which coordinates all of this. They do all the press conferences, they do all the media spots and all of that. And it's a huge lobbying arm of WorldWE. Who are they lobbying? Go ahead, Sean.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Thomas Massengill Duppy, Ro Khanna, Chuckles, good old Chuckles Schumer and his shekels, Rep Teresa Legger, don't know, Marjorie Taylor
No,
Greene.
don't stop. Legger is important. Why?
I don't know.
She's New Mexico. Where's Zorro Ranch?
New Mexico.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's already been run out of Dodge, so she's done.
This is when did this happen with her? Because I bet you that's when she started to flip script completely. Jamie
I have a feeling
Raskin.
this started. I have a feeling it was pretty early.
What's it likely?
I think it was last year.
Is it possible that this? What is it called? World WE.
World Without Exploitation.
So we'll just call it WWE. So when WWE does, I wonder, is it possible that they themselves maybe do a little, I don't know, extortion?
They're
Blackmail?
extorting.
Blackmail and extortion?
They're making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Off who?
The blackmail? I don't know. Extortion for sure.
Well, it looks like they're taking the banks for a ride and just
Yes,
somehow
but they're
including
extorting the banks.
right. But the banks, I feel like, would have to know more about their involvement.
Here's the
with
problem
Epstein.
you have, and it's the same with a lot of these prominent individuals.
Yeah.
When they tried to fight it, they were ratioed by the public.
Oh. So this
The
is
court
all
of,
court
they
of public
use
opinion.
the court
Oh.
of public opinion
Wow.
to ensure the dollars
Does
keep
that make
coming
sense,
in.
Mayor?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh man, this is but they're gonna get their money back.
I hope so.
Even the banks is gonna get their money back.
I sure hope so.
And I just played
But
this.
I'm gonna just make an obvious comment.
Yeah.
A lot of the individuals that have been going down, and I don't know that they may have other legal issues, but a lot of these people, their lives have been ruined.
Yes. Well, so what about Catherine Rummler, who just stepped down
Kathleen
today?
Rummler needed to go. I got big stuff on her.
Yes.
I'm sure. She's been
Yeah, our Cylindra
Yes.
architect. She owes us $1.5 billion. That bitch better pay up.
Yeah, Mayor, you know that she's was Obama's fixer essentially, right?
yes.
She goes back. She goes back. She was also with Clinton. She's friends with Bannon, not Bannon, Brennan.
Brennan.
And
Well, she was CIA. They were close. But you got Clinton, you've got Obama. She was with the CIA.
The Bannon thing was
Yeah, was it Bannon? No, that was an accident. It really was.
And for those out there wondering about Bannon, look, I'm not going to state it as fact, but I got the sneaking suspicion that Bannon was somehow a mole. Can I say a mole for Trump, maybe?
that's my theory also.
And
Well,
when
I think a lot of us hold that theory.
Yeah.
He said he could do more good for Trump outside than inside.
right.
Yeah.
So when you go back and read Bannon's comms with Epstein, but just keep that in the back of your mind, the possibility that he could have been a mole for Trump, and they read a lot differently. Food for thought. Sorry.
So anyway, I thought you would enjoy seeing this list.
Are you kidding me?
Especially in light, Jamie Raskin was acting like a total douche yesterday to Pam.
Well, I mean, come on, it's every other day, but
well, true.
So Maria Farmer is a lobbyist for WWE.
World Without Exploitation.
Yeah, which is
WorldWE.
Yeah, which WWE again is that.
She's
suggestive?
basically their business developer. How's
Right.
that?
So,
Although it's not the kind of business development that usually passes legal muster, but that's okay. She is doing that.
so when we say lobbying, she was lobbying on behalf of WWE to MTG, Thomas Massengill, and others.
Chucky.
So would it be fair to say that they
How
were
do you
broad?
forget Ro Khanna? We just started with Ro Khanna.
Of course, Ro Khanna. I mean, I don't even know why he's a thing anyways. I guess it's because Sean Ryan gave him a platform a couple times. And even now, looking back at that, maybe that could have been intentional too. Maybe they were allowing him to be kind of propped up and put front and center with Massengill. So they could show their asses.
I'm going to go down.
But not everybody knows all this shit. This has to become at some point very digestible and easy for people to begin to understand. How is that going to happen? Thank you,
Courtney
Real
Wild
News
is
Head.
one of the earliest known victims. She's in the earliest 2005-2006 investigation, but she's being used by WorldWE in public advocacy. Oops.
Thank you so much, Real News Head, for that dollar rumble rant. And yes, I think this should prove that Trump's got them all, man. Thank you, Patriot Bronco, for the can.
So one of the things she did, most of these women took money from the Epstein fund, the Epstein Victims
Of
Fund.
course they did.
She did not.
Really?
And what did she? One of the problems that they did, if you took money from the Epstein Victims Fund, you could not file any other lawsuits. So it's a one and done. So with Bradley Edwards at the helm, all these women are taking money from the Epstein Victims Fund. It wasn't her. There's another one that actually tried to go do a civil case. It went up to SCOTUS. SCOTUS declined to hear it, saying that quite literally, because Epstein is now dead, you have no case because he was never convicted.
But he still has a trust, or I'm sorry, an estate.
No, you're missing it.
Okay.
She was trying to sue the estate.
Oh.
It went to the Supreme Court.
Oh.
The Supreme Court said you don't have a case because he was never convicted and is dead.
Oh. I
Do
did
you
miss
hear?
that. I'm
I
sorry.
gotcha, bitch.
Yep.
We might need somebody. I need somebody to clip that because I'm gonna put that in the sound bites. I'm gonna put feisty saying it.
That would be more fun for sure.
Yeah.